Today on Business Uncensored, I have Tracey, and I'm just going to butcher your last name if I try. How do I pronounce your last name?
Vanasco. It's Italian.
It is Italian. I got the pleasure of meeting you in Florida. We got to hang out a little bit down in Florida when I was there for
Mhm.
Podfest, and we hooked up on Facebook. We got to kind of knowing each other, and tell us a little bit about you and who you are and what you do and why you were brave enough to come on this shit show. So
Yeah. So my background is talent acquisition. I did that for over a decade, and it became not my favorite thing to do. It became something where I would wake up in the morning and kind of dread it. So
yeah.
I transitioned about a year ago into coaching people to help them find jobs. So I help individuals who are in the middle of a job loss or who are employed and then want to find something else. And I do some career coaching for them. So then I started a podcast, and that's how we met.
Absolutely. I'm a big proponent of your job should be fun. Your career should be fun. Whatever you do, it doesn't have to bring you joy. I've got one of the most fun jobs in the world. I come and babble into this microphone, or I help people babble into their own microphones, and I make marketing out of that. So I get it. But there are days where, no, I don't want to get up and I don't want to come do this either. So your job can't always be fun, but it's got to have that element. So when you're doing talent acquisition, can you pinpoint what made you fall out of love with that?
Yeah, I totally can. So when you're doing talent acquisition, there are a lot of bits and pieces to that. It's not just the recruiting part where you're bringing people, you're looking for people, you're bringing them into an organization. You're also doing a lot of the back end stuff with the employer and identifying gaps or finding ways to make things better, or hey, we need somebody to do this, let me go find somebody. Well, it became where talent acquisition and HR has more and more been handcuffed. So we don't really get the freedom to do the things in organizations that they kind of want us to do, but then they don't want us to do it and they don't want to pay for it. So that's when it just became not fun anymore. And I'm like, you got to pony up if you want the things that you say you want, but then they don't want to pay.
It,
So
that I think that's the crux of capitalism, right? That I think that's really it because
yeah.
what I've noticed in work before in anything when I was in marketing, when I was in graphic design, editing, podcast now, almost the clients that aren't willing to pay for it are usually your biggest problem clients that they
Yes.
want that if somebody spends $10,000 on you for a marketing campaign, they're pretty hands off and they're like, hey, go do it, whatever. The person that wants a full marketing campaign for 350 is the one that calls you 7 times a day and wants you to answer emails on the weekend. And
Mhm.
any time that your industry slides into that, because marketing did, and that's why I do this now, because in any industry that slides into that, talent acquisition, marketing, all of those,
Yep.
you got to bail because the only clients that you can get want to be cheap, and then they're just, I don't know how to explain this professionally, douchebags. So yeah,
Professionally, what?
yeah, yeah. Professionally, yeah, they're douchebags. Um, it's a professional term.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that in Forbes.
Yes, yeah, douchebag of the year. I'm nominated for that on more than one occasion, mainly by exes and former employees. But yes, uh, but you were telling me in the green room a little bit that when you're in talent acquisition, you've got to talk to a lot of people. You've got to. Do you have any interesting stories or interesting things that happened while you were doing this?
I have so many interesting stories. It's hard to even pick one. But I will say back in the day, I'm dating myself here, probably 2010-ish. I was with a company and we were doing interviews online similar to what they're doing now where people just record themselves
Mhm.
answering questions, right? We were on the cutting edge of that and doing these video recorded interviews. People would shock me the way they would show up on these videos. I had women with like low cut tops on their bed answering these professional questions about sales. They wanted to be salespeople, and I'm thinking, wrong industry.
Yeah,
You're selling the wrong thing.
so do you think because you mentioned this to me and my first thought was, do they think that like primarily are they thinking they're just gonna be talking to dudes? Like, do you think that was gonna be like because they're just recording, they're not interviewing, right? They're just
Right.
recording something that been like, oh, if I find a dude that finds this nice, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Dude
That
on the other end is gonna he's gonna call me for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you
Unfortunately,
hedge
they
your
got me.
bets, you know? That's why I grew a beard, that's generally it, just so people found me more attractive because I know what's under this. So, yeah, no. So I don't
Cover it
I
up.
yeah, yeah. So no, I don't not necessarily blame them, but I don't think what's that word? Wherewithal? Like, they don't have the wherewithal to understand that probably, like, that dude's got that video saved, but you never got a call back.
No, 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 they're safe because it was me, and I was
Oh,
just appalled. Like, "Okay,
oh,
delete, you're
no, we're
gone."
not gonna do that.
Yeah, yeah. Or I mean, people had their dirty, disgusting bedroom, just crap everywhere. I'm like, "What are you thinking? You know somebody's watching this. It's a video. It's a video."
Yeah.
Yeah, it amazed me.
No, it's the public is very silly. Like, when you start dealing with a big amount of the public, they're silly gooses. They're just some people don't know. Some people don't know, what professionalism is because I got into that because I didn't have the normal path to professionalism. By the
Mhm.
time I entered the corporate world, I was in my 30s and I had done everything except corporate stuff. So I burnt 2 or 3 jobs just figuring out I was the asshole, right? Like, talking loud in meetings, rah, 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 rah. Oh, we can't drink at lunch all the time. It was
Yeah.
just, it was,
You're the
it was,
HR nightmare that HR comes to me and they're like, "Can you replace this guy? Like, we need a
see,
new."
I wanted to find an HR expert that has just been in the front lines, right? Of
Mhm.
whatever ended so we can exchange stories because I used to when I get fired, I would used to frame my termination papers and I'd write a little note for why I got fired. So no, it was it was fun. That's why I
How
have
many
my own
times have you
company.
been fired?
Huh?
How many times have you been fired?
At least a dozen.
No, and fired, like, for
Fired,
cause,
fired.
like, "We
Yeah, for
need to
cause.
let him go."
Yeah, yeah,
Shut up.
yeah, yeah, probably about a dozen.
Alright. Well, it's probably
Mo
a good thing you have your own business.
Yeah, like half a dozen of them were just basically no call, no shows or sporadic or absenteeism, right? The other ones of what was that Ron White skit? I needed to keep my mouth shut, but didn't have the ability. It was just stuff like that. It wasn't anything egregious or anything I would be arrested for. It's just I didn't match corporate vibe, right?
Right.
It wasn't, when you're not raised in corporate vibe, it's hard to match corporate vibe. But I figured it out. Like, I figured it out by the time I was late 30s, early, I figured it out and boom, as soon as I figured it out, I got one of the most amazing jobs I've ever had in my life. Uh
Mhm.
but yeah, there's definitely that politicking in there that I don't think a lot of people understand.
Yeah, well, clearly you're a good actor because you were able to get through the interview process and they would offer you jobs. Like, clearly
Yeah, yeah.
13 companies at least offered you jobs.
This isn't corporate world. This is like from start to finish. I only burnt 3 corporate jobs being fired for cause.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, but from start to finish, yeah. Like, are you smoking in what are you smoking in the walk-in cooler? You can just clock out and go home. All right. That was like the first time I got fired when I was 17. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. I lost my job at 17 because I worked at a retail store and my coworker and I were smoking behind the store.
Mhm.
And he's like, "Man, this job is not worth 9.25 an hour." And I'm like, "Wait, you're making 9.25 an hour? I make $9 an hour." So I marched my butt back in, went to HR and I was like, "Excuse me, I would like to make 9.25 an hour." And they're like, "Well, you shouldn't be talking about your compensation with other employees." And I said, "Well, if I don't get the raise, I'm leaving." And basically, sayonara. That's what happened.
Yeah, and legally, you guys can talk all you want.
Mhm.
Because you know your enemy, so I know a lot of things about HR now. So, you know, so it's perfectly legal. So if you guys are watching
Yeah,
this, it is perfectly legal to talk about compensation. They can't stop you. They can't even
yes,
fire you for doing it. That's fi
right.
even in a right to work state, firing you for talking about your employment details is covered even in a right to work state. That is wrongful termination. But I mean, they'll get you for something else. But if they expressly do that, they're wrong.
That is true, but I think I lost my job because I insisted on a raise, and they were
Right,
not having it.
right.
So, I
I
tried.
lost I lost one of my jobs because in customer service, and I told someone to go fuck themselves. So, I mean, it's
Oh,
what
oh,
everybody wants to do. That if you've ever been in customer service out there, leave a like, comment, whatever. This is where I pander to get audience involvement. Leave a like, comment, or tell me your story of when you wanted to talk about and tell some people of the general public to fuck off. I just did it, right?
and so you got fired for that?
On the spot. Yeah, yeah, on the spot.
On the spot.
Yeah, I worked for a
Shut
church.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to see your reaction. No, no. No, but your reaction was fun. Your reaction was
Some
worth
parishioner is like, "Hey, I accidentally dropped 50 bucks in the tray, and I really meant to drop $5." And you're like, "Yeah, fuck off. That's going to
Yeah,
God."
right. Yeah. God needs your money. Yeah, no, I forget what it was some restaurant. I was a bartender or waiter or something. I was like 20 something. I don't know. It was a second job and like you said, you wake up and you don't want to do it, right?
Mhm.
I was just there and it hit me on the right day at the right time and somebody care some lady tried to Karen me and I just went, "No, why am I gonna do that? Go for yourself." And my boss just looked at me and I went, "Yeah, I'm gonna clock out now." And they're like,
You're
"Yep,
like, "Okay, I'll walk myself out. Thank you."
it's all right. I know I'm fired. I know. It's all right.
And here you
I
are today.
I know where the door is. It's fine. Yeah. Uh, well, I think it's you have to learn from those experiences, really. They're
Yeah,
fun. Like in all honesty, they're fun, but you're not really going to make a whole lot of your life if you don't grow out of that. So it was fun.
yeah,
Like to sit here and tell the stories and to do all that is great and it's fun.
yeah.
But at the same time, I learned why you don't do that because if you do that,
You
you're
said you
you're
do.
Yeah, yeah, I know. That's what I was stuck on. That was like, "Oh, I said doo-doo." It's like anybody says something but dude, it's my duty. Oh, you dutied? Did you duty? Yeah. It's what I get for being a dad, right? But, no, if you don't grow out of that, you're never gonna get to where you need to be. And you do have to learn that corporate speak of I think my new favorite one is when a client comes at me that way or whatever. I'm very honest if our company messes something up. Hey, we messed that up. How can we fix that for you?
Mhm.
Customer service isn't about being perfect. It's about how you accept the faults and doing whatever. But then when somebody Karens at me or blah, blah, I'm like, we're just not interested in working that way. That which is what I say now. You know?
So now you're doing the firing. You're
Yeah,
firing the clients.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and I think that's one of the biggest things in business too. Is when I learned I could fire clients. I was like, oh,
Yes. That's the joy of consulting, right? So
yes.
that's what I'm doing, consulting, coaching, and I absolutely can say, "All right, I think we're not a match. We shouldn't be working together."
Uh, you've had to do that, haven't you?
I have.
Why?
So so
You don't
I
have
have
to answer that, or you can answer it in as generalities as you or as general as you want to, but
Yeah, so I mean, I have clients that are in job search mode.
mhm,
And I will tell them things, "Hey, we need to adjust your resume. This isn't working for you. This isn't working. We need to
mhm,
make some adjustments." And they fight me. And they fight and they fight and they fight. And I'm like, "Look, you hired me to do something for you. And if you're not going to trust my judgment, if you're not going to trust what I need you to do, then we're not a match. Go find
right,
somebody who's going to do what you want them to do. And
right.
then good luck, you
Eh,
know?"
yeah, it's really fun how people try to shoehorn that in. There's a certain amount of compatibility that you have to
Mhm.
have, whether you're a marketer or whether you're whatever, and if they don't have that, then it's time to go, and whoever realizes that first gets to call that shot, so
Yeah.
And it's always fun when it's me.
Yes. That's the best.
I remember
Um,
it's I remember as, just this is recent, but not horribly recent, and he won't ever see the show. That,
you hope.
he no, I'll clip it out and send it to him. We drink together every Thursday. So anyway, so he hired me to do some marketing for him, and he kept blowing off marketing meetings, right? But it was a subscription plan. You paid me X amount of money a month to consult and be there to help consult marketing. And it wasn't a lot. It was like 500-600 bucks or whatever. So I hadn't heard from this guy for 3 months, and I'd leave him messages or he'd book a meeting or he'd do whatever. And I finally got him on the phone and I'm like, dude, we're friends. He was just busy. And I'm like, I will take your money every month. I do. I will. I said, because I buy stupid shit with what you pay me. I go out and buy new microphones and stuff like that. And I'd hate to lose that money and I'll take it every fucking month you want to send it to me. I'm like, but if you want something out of that, can you please come to a meeting?
Did he show?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I got a meeting with that's my 10 o'clock after here. Yeah. Uh,
It worked.
it does. It does work because I wanted to work with the guy. I
Yeah.
figured 3 months of him paying me and not showing up because I even messaged him a couple times. I'm like, hey, do you just want to cancel? I don't, I
Yeah.
don't, I don't want to be that guy to take your money. And he's
Yeah.
like, no, I'll be there. I'll be there. So yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
doesn't show.
And yeah. And now he's to the point of if he misses a meeting, he'll come and go, don't fire me. So
So he knows. He knows what's
he
up.
knows. He knows
Yeah.
what's up now. But it's about boundaries really, right? Because in coaching, I think that's one of the things. Let's bring this full circle. So in coaching, that's probably one of the things that you found out after you switched. So tell me a little bit about the switch from HR to talent acquisition to now coaching. Why did you go there and what's your area of expertise?
So why did I go into coaching?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my background, obviously, talent acquisition. I was
Mhm.
on the other side of the table. So I was on the company side, the corporate side, hiring people to come and join our company. And eventually I got really sick of the company kind of giving me orders, right? They just kind of put
Mhm.
in their order like they're at McDonald's. I want this person, go find them. And I'd,
Mhm.
get out there and I'd go look and look and look and look. And then, I'd send them really great people. And inevitably, I can't even tell you how many times this would happen. I was recruiting for people in the healthcare space.
Mhm.
And I'd be looking for people that meet all their criteria and all of the things. They put in their order. I'd find them their person. And then they'd come back to me and be like, no, not this one. But so and so on my team just referred this other person who works at Walmart. So can you bring them on? I'm like, what?
No.
If we were hiring Walmart cashiers for this job, I could have had it filled months ago. You could have
Right.
told me. Right? So
Yes.
I'm not a vending machine. I can't give you the perfect people, but if you want Walmart cashiers to come and work at this I could have done that months ago.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So, I got kind of sick of that over and over and over and over again where I'm filling high level jobs and then next thing you know they're like, "Yeah, just give me Joe Schmo from the street corner." And I was like, "This isn't fun for me anymore." So I decided to use my talents for the other side of the table, right? So helping the job seeker bridge that gap. What is it
Yeah.
that they don't know about HR? What's going to get them a leg up? How are they going to get seen by a recruiter or hiring manager or whatever and get the job that they want?
What are some people's blind spots in that? Because blind spots are a big deal, right? Like we were just talking about with corporate,
Mhm.
going into that corporate world, job, doing the interviews. What are some of the common blind spots you see for people that are seeking jobs, like what you help with?
People, frankly, are not self aware. They're just not self aware. They think I can do everything. I can't tell you how many times I get a resume and I'm like, okay, well, what do you want to do? I see this resume. What do you want to do? What's the career path? I can do anything. Oh, okay. Anything? Yep, anything.
Anything,
Anything. I'm like, okay,
anything.
I'm going to take Walmart cashier and put them in a marketing job. Before you know it, they'll be running a business like yours, Ryan.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
photographers, right? There are some really talented photographers out there, but just because you bought a camera doesn't mean that you're a photographer. So that
Yes.
doesn't mean that, hey, I watched a YouTube video on marketing or hey, I had a couple viral videos that you understand marketing. So
Right.
so uh, yes, back to general public or silly gooses.
Yes.
Um
Yeah, exactly that. Or they'll apply, no kidding, as a recruiter, I would see the same person apply for every job at a company from, the janitor to the CEO, and I'm like, "What are you thinking? What
I
are you
I can answer that.
thinking?"
I can answer that.
Okay, tell
They're
me.
poor. They're poor. Um no, and
They're
I mean
thinking they
that.
need to eat.
Yeah, no, it's such a weird psychological thing, right? I went through enough therapy to buy a 2 fucking houses, right? So, but I understand a little bit, not that just because I went to therapy means I understand it, but that financial struggle we all find to be in, right? That's a sign of desperation because these people don't have
Mhm.
money, so they're shooting their shot. They don't know how to focus down and take the loss. They know that if they go apply at Applebee's, Red Racks, the same thing as when I was poor and I was working in factories here in this little stupid town, is that they all paid $10 an hour, right? So if I got
Yeah,
fired from this one, I just went to that one. Same $10 an hour, right?
but they
Same $10 an
talk,
hour.
but they
Yeah, but
talk.
yes, but sometimes in smaller towns like mine, the job pool is so low. Yeah, I burnt some of those bridges 3 times. So, I mean, it's like they hired me back like, "Well, you didn't shoot anybody. So, all right, come back."
Uh,
But no, that's just a sign, and I don't mean poor in any disparaging way. That's just a sign of economic crisis and desperation that they're like, "I'll take whatever I can get because I've got 60 days until I run out of funds, or I got 3 weeks till I run out of funds." That's just a sign of
Sure.
desperation.
Yeah, I totally see that, and also, it does make you look desperate,
Of course.
and you need to understand that there's a human on the other end who's
Mhm.
looking at this going, "What is wrong with you? You are not self-aware." You're
Yeah.
right? Like,
So, yeah,
apply
so
for the job
Tracy,
you're
she wants to
qualified
be
for.
yeah, so Tracy wants to be bathroom attendant, wants to be head of marketing, wants to be, uh, chief
Yes.
financial officer of the bridge division. She wants to be CEO of the entire company, or she's
Right.
willing to, shine shoes in the lobby. She's got a nobody looks at that and goes, "She's got a wide breadth of skills."
Yes. That's exactly right. So my biggest tip is hone in on your skill sets, really figure out what it is that you do best, what you're passionate about, and then
Mhm.
start like create a resume that's geared toward that and start marketing yourself
Right.
as a thought leader in that area.
Yeah. Because really, here's and I hate to burst anybody's bubble. Here's what it takes to be an expert. Not much. To brand yourself as to prove yourself as an expert, it takes a fuck ton. To brand yourself as an expert, it doesn't take very much.
Right.
A couple $100 on a studio and a microphone. I have my own business, right? And you can
Yeah.
brand yourself, but it's the way people see you.
Mhm.
It's marketing 101. It's how you make people feel over how what's actually on the paper is what I found out. Because you made the like you kept getting jobs. Yeah, because I can talk like a motherfucker, right? Like I can talk my way into it. So I made people feel good. So they hired me. But to prove yourself as the expert is hard.
Yes. Right. So once you've got the job, you have to prove that
Yeah.
you belong there and stop drinking and cussing and whatever else it was that you were doing on the job.
No. Just for
Fired,
reference. Yeah,
fired.
just for reference, this is coffee.
Who puts their coffee in that?
I do. Because it looks like I'm drinking alcohol. No, not to diverge because we're running out of time anyway.
Yeah.
I I hope she doesn't care. It's Cavell Coffee, and what she does is she's 3 doors down, coffee
Mm.
shop, has the best cold brew. I've got to travel a ton, and you buy this bottle for like $12, and she'll refill it for 5, right?
Oh,
And
okay.
because I'm in an office and I just got a bathroom sink, I just think
Yeah.
it's cool that it looks like I'm drinking all day, and it's just really coffee.
How many ounces is in there?
Not much now. Um, I couldn't tell. It's probably like whatever wine measurement is, 750 mils or
Mm.
whatever a bottle of wine is. I'm guessing it's close to that.
You're drinking a bottle of wine worth of coffee a day?
Not a day. About every 2. About every 2.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Yeah, 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 but yes, yeah, but no, it's Cavell. So shout out to Cavell, which probably does not want to be associated with this show. Um,
We
he
just did
does
an
sponsor.
episode
He
about coffee because
did you?
I don't like Bitterbucks. I call it Bitterbucks.
Yeah.
That
Oh yeah.
coffee shop. Yeah. So we had a nice conversation about Bitterbucks.
Yeah, yeah, I'm the worst because she always makes fun of me, the lady at the coffee shop, Kayla. She always makes fun of me because she's like, "You want a coffee?" And she's like, "You're so boring. It's literally cold brew. It's no additives, no sugar, no syrup, no anything. It's just 100% straight up cold brew coffee."
Wow.
Yeah,
You're intense.
I'm not camping. Just have a seat, Josh. We're almost done. All right, but yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah,
This has been
yeah.
so much fun. So
It was
so
fun.
so give me all the plugs, give me all the things. How do we find you? And
Yeah.
let's do a part two. This was really fun.
I would love to do that. Two
Okay.
recruiters, zero filter. We are
Okay.
on all of the podcast platforms, anywhere you want to find us, including YouTube. So find us there, two recruiters, zero filter. And if you have questions for us, two recruiters, zero filter at gmail.com.
Absolutely. And this has been over here, Business Uncensored, brought to you by Titan Media Works. What do we do? What don't we do when it comes to podcasting? We're a full service podcasting company. We're going to do everything from setting up a studio. We'll build your show from the ground up. We come from an Inc. 5000 marketing company. So we look at marketing when we're building these podcasts to make sure that we're making this to be successful from the ground up. And we use StreamYard to record. We take all your stuff. We edit it in 3-camera shoot, very dynamic, lower thirds. It's not somebody in a garage. This is what we do for a living. And so if you want to reach out, it's titanmediaworks.com, works with an X. And that'll all be in the show notes, or you can just email me at Ryan@TitanMediaWorks. Thank you so much, Tracey, for coming by. And I can't wait for part two. I'll email you here in a little bit and we'll get that set up.
I'm down. Have a great
All right.
day.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye, Ryan.